All right, so this video is to have a good look at the Myp E Assessment to see if we can get some sense from it. The idea is to give you some explanation of what the Myp E Assessment entails. Now, the E Assessment has two parts to it. It has e-portfolios and it has on-screen. Now the IB released this graphic, and the graphic that they released is to help us understand it. So I'm going to take it apart so you can understand how everything works together. So the first part to bear in mind is that we have what we call on-screen examinations. Now these are done on computers, and they are done offline, meaning that we have computers made available and the students can do these exams on computers with the program loaded on. Once the program starts, it's not possible for the child to leave that program leave that examination unless an invigilator allows them to do so. So the first part, these are on-screen exams, and these are offered in mathematics. Now, mathematics has two types. We have standard and we have extended. Remember that the extended paper is for the students maybe about the top 10 to 15% of your cohort. So not every child should take this. The standard mathematics course is the main one that everyone should be targeting, and it should prepare students for higher level study and mathematics at DP level. There's language and literature. Here you have, obviously, if your school is an English language school, then it will be an English language exam. But you can also offer other languages, for example, Arabic language or Chinese language or French language here. So it is the main language course that's offered. Then we have the sciences. Again, the sciences exam is going to be, it can either be biology on its own, physics on its own, chemistry on its own, or it could be an integrated science course. All of these are done together as part of you have a choice here. Likewise, we have the individuals and societies. Again, you can have either geography, or you could have history, or you could have an integrated INS course again. So you have these four main courses, which represents in some ways a core, and inside of each of these courses, there is a potential to do different subject choices within these subject groups. And then there's an interdisciplinary on-screen exam, which is a range of all of the disciplines that are taught in MYP come together, testing whether students can transfer information from different parts and how well do they process that, as well as reflect on that information. And those exams are part of the main on-screen exams, and that represents the on-screen exam part of the Myp E-Assessment. The next part, and these are individually and externally marked. So you do them by yourself, individually, obviously, and then they're marked externally. So we just literally will close the computers, and then the information is uploaded to IB. Then they mark and the results are returned. Then we have the e-portfolio. Now these are a little bit different. These are like coursework, but not long courseworks. Ideally, the idea is that these are just over 20 hours long, and they're done pretty much between November and the upload time in April. Schools have a lot of flexibility here, so they can choose what they want to do. Now, the e-portfolios are within language acquisition. So if you do language acquisition, you have a special type of e-portfolio. And what's special about this one is that, again, the students complete the work, but these are sent away to be marked externally. So there is no need for schools to be marking language acquisition unless you want to have an indication of what students might or might not achieve on the paper, on the coursework. The other type of coursework e-portfolio is physical and health education, as well as design and the arts. Now obviously between design, there are different types of design. So it depends on what your school's focus is on. As well as within the arts, we have obviously the main ones, visual arts, visual arts. You also have music, as well as drama. But there are other visual arts that students can take on. So for example, dance or theater. It depends on how the school is focused. But in the end, you only need to submit one of those arts if you really want to. But in some schools, you might end up doing all three if that's the way the school is structured. But these are marked internally, and then a sample is taken and marked and then sent back with an overall grade for the entire cohort of students who take this coursework. Now, these represent the optional part of the MYP. You don't really have to do these at the moment. You don't really have to do these. These are optional. It means you can choose to pick wherever you want, whichever one, any cocktail that you want, you could choose. At the moment, these are optional. Obviously, if you're aiming to have the MYP certificate, then there is going to be some requirements, which I'll explain in another video. But for the most part, at the moment, these are all optional. The next one is the Myp Personal Project. This is also part of the eAssessment. And the thing about this is that this one is not optional. Every IB school that does the MYP should allow students to take the Myp Personal Project. The grades must be internally standardized and then submitted online through IB so that they can be moderated. Again, the approach to this one is that it's internally marked first through some clear standardization procedure, and then it's externally moderated using a similar technique as the coursework e-portfolio for physical and health education, design, and arts. So they pick a sample and then the marks are then determined. So this is pretty much the basic idea behind the Myp eAssessments. The entire examination is broken down into Onscreens, which are done on computers, as well as portfolios or e-portfolios that are submitted. So hope that helps. This will give you some idea about how it is supposed to work. Now, this is the information at the moment. Thanks for listening. This is good. Great.